Hello and welcome to Planning Center University. My name is Raquel and I work here on our support team as a support agent. And today I'm going to take you through our product Groups. Now, if you haven't guessed it already, Groups is our product that helps you cultivate the church life of your church and get people organized into groups where they can build community, connect with one another, all the good things that make your church what it is. So before we dive into that too much, I do want to let you know about this little question mark up in the corner of every screen that you're going to be in Planning Center. If you ever need help, just click that button and let me show you what it does. This is where you can search through our documentation if you ever get stuck and need help navigating the different features of our products. And it's also where you can contact our support team. We're pretty great. And especially right now, it looks like our response time is 18 minutes. Usually within business hours, we try to get back to you within an hour. And it looks like right now they could get back to you 3 times within the amount of time that I'll be teaching this training. So you can open a ticket with them at any point. You can also search our documentation. Like if you're like me, I like to ask straight up questions. So I'll say, help, I am getting started. And it looks like the first article says those exact words, help getting started. I'm an administrator. So that is there for you, as is our support team. The other thing I want to let you know is that this training is being recorded and it will be available afterwards on our Planning Center University page, which is planningcenter.com/university. So our team has that put up there after the training. It'll be there. That's where all of our other products trainings are. And one cool thing they do is divide up the trainings into chapters. So if you wanted to rewatch this, but like only the attendance part of Groups, you could just click on that chapter, be there, not have to listen to me for another whole hour. You're welcome. All right, so again, we are going over Planning Center Groups today, and we know that now more than ever, it's really important for your church to stay connected and keep building community. And so we've added a lot of new features since we last did this training that are really going to help you and your church members stay connected. So to get started, I want to show you first the church member side of Groups, which is on Church Center. I'm going to pull up my phone for that and show you our beautiful homepage that our church has designed. And I'm going to go to our Groups tab. So as a member, I can already see the groups that I'm a part of here. But if I wanted to join a new group, which I do because fall is coming, it's a new semester, new season, I need new groups. And I am going to look here through our different church, or different group types that we offer. And I want to join a Bible study. So I'll click there. It looks like there's quite a few Bible studies going on, and I want to filter to my own preferences, so I'm going to tap the filter button, and there's so many options. I want something weekly that, I'm going to be picky and say I want something in my neighborhood, so I'll pick Carlsbad, and that's good enough for me for now. So I have Ephesians, Proverbs. I think I'm going to join Ephesians, especially because Sherry is leading Ephesians, and Sherry's the bomb. So I am going to join Ephesians by clicking that button to join, and I'm a member of the group. That easily. That was amazing. So now if I want to check out that group, see what we have going on, I'll go back to my groups page, scroll to the top, and Ephesians is listed there because I'm a member. It looks like there is a whole welcome thread with introductions. They want to know my favorite ice cream flavor. I'm dairy free. Sad face. Anyway, I'll let them know more about what desserts I like later. That's fine. You can also search through the different events that they have. So that's our whole fall schedule. 5 o'clock, that's good. 5 p.m. So that way I can get dinner afterwards. There's different resources available to me, and I can see who I'm going to be in this group with. That is awesome. And that is Groups on Church Center. Now, that was pretty easy for me as a member just to go through, instantly get connected with my church. I can message people, I can check our the events we have coming up. How did all that happen? That is what we're going to go over today. So let's dive into the administrative side of groups. This is where you as an administrator will be setting everything up, and it's also where your leaders are going to log in and be able to do some of the leader things they do. So you saw when I was searching for a group that I was looking through our different group types that we offer. We're going to start there. So I'm on my main groups page, and you can see we offer here, if you click this drop down, we have all of our different group types available there. But I want to create a new group type for this fall. We have quarterly classes, but we have some specific groups this fall that are only going to be offered this fall. So I'm going to click Manage Group Types, and I'm taken to my Group Types page. And then I want to add a new group type. So throughout Planning Center, we give you a lot of little messages that you can read on your own time. We just help you out a little. So I'm creating fall classes as my new group type. I'll write a description later, but I do want this to be orange because fall is coming. Pumpkin spice vibes. Got it. I don't want the list map to be enabled yet. This is just what your people will see when they're searching for a group. Sometimes we give a map if you want people to get a general idea of the area your groups are in. And I do want leaders in all of my fall classes groups to be able to enable groups messaging. Yay! So I created my group type, and I'm gonna drag this up to the top because I want to see it first in my list, and I also want my members to see that first when they are searching for a group type. So the next thing I want to do is set up group defaults. Now, group defaults are super helpful, especially when you're adding a lot of different groups to a group type. Anything that you add to this settings page for group defaults will be instantly applied to your groups. It's super helpful, especially if you have, for example, we have our Sunday school classes, and every Sunday school class meets at 9 a.m. So if I was creating our Sunday school classes, I would do Sundays at 9 a.m. and that would instantly be applied to every group. My fall classes don't have a lot of commonalities, just a few. So I'm just going to go through those. So just due to the season, our fall classes are all going to, by default, meet at our Carlsbad campus. Some of them are going to have the option to meet online using our virtual link option. But then they can always change this later in their group settings if they want to meet somewhere else. But for now, I'm going to set that to our Carlsbad campus. I am the contact person. I think I remember my email. Perfect. And I'll get to these settings later in my specific group, but I do want to create an alert if the membership exceeds 10. That way we can just manage the rooms that we're using at our church, so we know if we need to get a bigger room or if a class gets too big and we need to go completely online. It'll send me a notification and it will be all good. I will get to these settings later. So I am done. I have created my group type and my group defaults are set. Perfect. The next thing I want to do before I dive in and create a group in this group type is I want to go to my tags page. So group tags are so helpful for both administrators and your church members. So you saw on Church Center when I was filtering for my different preferences to find the group I wanted to be in, I was using tags. So you set tags up here on our tags page, and I do need to create a new tag group for this fall. And I'm going to do meeting, not meeting type. How about location type? That's the word I want. So I'm going to create a new location type that I do want to be used publicly on Church Center. And for this one, it can belong to many because I am going to create two tags, one for in person and virtual. I can spell. One for virtual. So these two can be applied to my different groups. So when people are searching for the kind of group they want to join, if they only want to join a group that's going to meet virtually, that's how they can find that. So super helpful. And again, I just double checking. Yes, this can belong to multiple one group can belong to multiple location types because, like I said, some of my groups are going to have the option to meet virtually and in person. So there's that. There are a few cases like our community director tag group. This one is, if you look at it, so it is not displayed publicly, and one group cannot belong to many directors. That's because this is more of an internal tag that me and my other administrators use for filtering when we need to check out the groups that we oversee. We each have a tag for our name, and when we're filtering on our groups page or our people page, we can find the groups and the people that we need to, so we can do our job easier. So that's all I needed to do with my group tags. So I'm going to go back to our groups page. I'm going to filter to my new group type, fall classes, and I am ready to create my very first group for today. One moment. It's going to be awesome. So our first group that I'm going to create for our fall classes is a book study called Praise Habit. So go slower. I click new group, the green button, and I can type in Praise Habit, and I'm just going to let people know this is a book study. It's in my fall classes, and create. It has been created. So I'm going to do, instead of adding members and adding my leader first, I'm going to jump down to our settings page and walk through this. Now this is there's a lot of little details throughout here, but you'll see in the end how it all comes together and helps your leader and your members and you. So meeting schedule, this one I think is gonna meet Wednesday. I can totally spell Wednesday evenings. It's funny, I think I can't talk and type at the same time, or at least spelling just goes down the list. Anyway, so I'm going to save that because this meets Wednesday evenings. You're able to upload an image, or you can use some free photos, which I'm just going to do that and type in praise. And I like this one. I think that's a pretty photo. But if my group leader doesn't like it, she can change it later, which she probably will because she's as picky as me. But I think that's a good image. Anyway, moving on. So because I created this within my fall classes group type, the location I already set as a default, so it already has our Carlsbad location set, so I can just skip over that. I can also skip over the enrollment because I already set that up in my group type defaults, so that is applied. The next thing I want to talk about is this member visibility setting. Now, this is going to be changing. It's not changed at the time of this recording, but so what this feature does is it gives administrators the ability to control who can see what when it comes to your members. So if I click here, you can see I can let members see my leader's name and photo, and members can see other members' name and photo. This just applies to the members of this specific group, but our team is changing this so that it's going to be in the hands of members. So that means I can log into my profile on Church Center and I get to choose that other members can see my name, photo, and I'll let them see my email address too. So this is a huge win for privacy, just so that your members feel like they know what information is available to the other people in their groups. So that is coming soon, but I wanted to mention it because it's here. And it also, I need this enabled so that I can enable another setting later. So that is member visibility coming soon to a Church Center profile page near you. The next setting I want to talk about is the leader access. So when you add leaders, they don't have as many permissions as your administrators do. And so one of those restrictions that we give you is, or we give you the ability to set, is what your leaders can access as far as your people database. So when leaders are needing to add new members themselves, you can either have them add by invitation only, meaning they would need their email address, or you can allow them to search through profiles in your people database. For this group, I'm just gonna leave this to by invitation only because my leader will probably have their email addresses, or we can just let people sign up through Church Center. Event reminder default. So this is going to apply to every event I create in this group. If I were to enable this, it would automatically send a reminder email to all of our members, however many days I want, up to 10 days. That would probably be helpful if you have a group that meets every other week. Otherwise, I like 3 days. 3 is a magic number for me. I'm not going to enable that just yet because I want to do that when I create events. So skipping that for now. Contact person for leader. So this just looks to all of our administrators. So I'm going to set that to me. And this is where when you send an attendance reminder to your leaders, it'll email them about 10 minutes before their event starts, reminding them and asking them to take attendance. If my leader ever needed to respond to that email, the email would come to me. So that's not going to send the attendance report to me. It's just that email will for sure come to me from my leader. So moving on, we are almost done with group settings. The next thing is our tags. So you saw we set up our tags. This is where you can add those tags to each group. This one doesn't really need a stage of life tag. It is going to meet on Wednesdays. We're not providing childcare just yet. And because people can meet virtually, I'm not going to select a neighborhood, but it does meet weekly. I am the community director overseeing this, and it meets both in person and virtually. So those are now tags people can use and find this group when they are searching. Next thing I want to do is make sure this group is published on our Church Center page, and I'm going to set this to request to join just so my leader can field requests as they come in. So it's not going to be as easy as what I showed you in the beginning where I just instantly joined the group and I was a part of it. This one, I'll show you what it looks like once we get a little further. Group description, I'm going to let my leader do that. She can say whatever lovely words she wants to. I am the contact person. That was a setting I put in our group type defaults, so that's easy. And I do want my leader's first name to display publicly. So we are done. I'm going to enable group messaging because all the happiness that comes with that. And we are done with settings. Whew, we did it. So now I do want to add my leader to this group and get her all set up. So I'm going to go to the members tab and click the add a member button and search for Steph. And there she is. So it's going to have me add her as a member first. I don't want to email her just yet because I am going to add her as a leader and email her then. So come right here, and all you need to do is hover over the member role, and this little pencil icon will let you make her a leader, and I'm going to send her an email. So yes, make Steph a leader. Steph, I hope I can trust you with this power. I believe in you, but we'll see how this goes. So I have added Steph as a leader, and I'm actually logged in as Steph in another window. So let me switch over and show you what Steph can see as a leader, and also what this email looks like for her when I send her that email. So I'm going to refresh here. When your leader logs in, this is the page they'll see. The first thing they'll see is My Groups, and they'll see another tab for their events. But you can see Steph now leads Praise Habit, and it is there for her. I'm going to go to her profile page real quick just to show you her communication tab where all emails are recorded. So let's see, that email might not be ready just yet, but when you make someone a leader, this is what it looks like. I'm showing you this because I just want you to know your leaders are given a ton of helpful information. We give them a resource on how to log in. We even give them this little part on how they can bookmark groups so they can easily log in from their mobile browser or their computer when they need to access their group. We have an article for them as well on the group leader introduction. So again, this email just gives them so much helpful information right off the bat, including a link where they can just go directly to their new group and get logged in and get started. So that is available to Steph. I'm going to go back to her main groups page, and cool. So I have my group created. I have my leader set up. The next thing I want to show you, this whole next section will be about adding people into your groups. So you already saw this a little bit with how I added Steph as a member to then make her a leader. There are a few other ways I want to talk about real quick. One of them I don't have time to show you today just because it's a little bit more involved, but there are also so many opportunities that you might need to use this feature. But there are times, let's say you're brand new to Planning Center and you have a list of people from your other church management database. You might have people's groups listed in that export. And so you might want to add people to groups in bulk. You don't want to do this one person at a time. So whether it's importing people from another database who are already a part of groups, or let's say you have people who signed up for an event through registrations and you want to put all of those attendees into a group. Or it could even just be you have youth groups that meet each semester or each school year, and you want to make sure everyone can just instantly be added from one, like 11th grade girls 2019 to 12th grade girls 2020. Our people tool in planning, or our people product, has our lists feature and bulk actions that can help you do all of that. It's magic. I don't have time to show you today. I wish I did, but we have documents that will walk you through that whole process, and we also have a support team who have your back. So know that that is available. The other ways within groups that I want to show you people can join your groups are through Church Center Web. So I am logged in here to Church Center, and so there's my group Ephesians I just joined. I'm already on the groups page. So I want to join Steph's group, or see if she'll let me join her group. Let's see how nice she's going to be. So I'm going to go down here to fall classes. You can see that that is already up at the top of the list like I wanted it to be. And this is the only group in this group type because you just saw me create it. But I want to show you those options that I created for tags and filtering. Those are all there for me. So I'm going to click on Praise Habit, and you can see all the information that I set up is there. It meets Wednesdays. Steph is the leader. All those good things. Okay, I'm going to ask to join. And because I'm already logged in, it already has my profile recognized, which makes it super easy. And I'm going to say, Steph, please accept me. We're great friends. We just sounds like we have problems. We don't. Okay, I'm going to send that request. Message sent. Thank you for the confirmation. And that's all I need to do as a member when it comes to asking to join a group. So now I'm going to switch back over and be Steph again. And so when Steph logs into her group and she sees Praise Habit, when she clicks on Praise Habit and she's on the members page, she's now going to see this membership request that I just sent in. She can see my contact info. She can see the message I sent. Steph, please accept me. That sounds so sad. She's gonna accept me because I am Steph right now. So I want to add Raquel because I am kind. I have so many options here right off the bat. You can see the message they sent in case you need to respond to a specific question that they had. You have different actions here, so I can make Raquel a group leader, give her that power over my group. You could not add someone to your group in case you know, that just happens sometimes. And so you can communicate with them about why. But this is where you manage all of that. You can choose if you even send a response to them. If you do accept them and you need to send them like a link to the book that we'll be going over, that's there for you as well. So I'm not going to send myself an email as I'm impostering stuff. But I am going to add myself. And yay! This group now has 2 members. It's going to be a good group. That's also a good book. So we're going to have fun. All right, let me double check where we are because we're still adding people. So I'm still logged in as Steph. And remember when I set in our group settings, the leader access setting, I chose to only let Steph add people through an invitation, meaning she'd have to have someone's email address. That's why you see on the members tab, this green button that says invite a new member. So when she clicks that, she's only going to have the option to type in their email address and send them a message saying, hey, I talked to you the other day about this book that we're going to be going over. Here's a direct link to get involved. So that's what she can do there. Now I'm going to switch back over to me, the real me, on this page and show you what it looks like for administrators adding someone directly to a group. And this is also what it would look like for your group leaders if you enabled the leader access setting. So when I go to add a member, it'll be the same way I added Steph. You just type in search. And let's say you're adding someone who doesn't have a profile in Planning Center yet. Let's see. I don't think he's in our system. He's not. So I would create a new person using that if I had his contact info, which I don't, which is fine. So those are all of the ways you can add people to your groups. So let's back up. So I've created a group type in my tags, and I've created a group, set up my leader. I joined the group. I've shown you how to add people to the group. So now what happens is all of the fun things, all of your group life, creating events, taking attendance on those events, and groups messaging. So before we do that, I'm going to take a drink because it's going to be legendary. It's going to be great. So let's see, I'm still logged in as me. For this, I'm going to go to a group that we've already created and it's had a few events, just a little bit more to work with to show you what this looks like when a group has been meeting consistently. I'm going to go to our small groups because I help lead our Centerville young adults class. We meet every other Tuesday night at 7 if you're interested. You can join through our church center page as I just showed you. So using this, I'm going to talk through events and attendance. So I'm going to go to our events page and you can see, I love this view actually. So you can see two calendars side by side that have fun little dots for when you have events in this group. You can also see a list of all of the events that are shown on that calendar. You can see past events. You can see we had one meeting was canceled because, you know, it's like end of summer. Everyone's still traveling. You can see people who have RSVP'd to events, so you can help plan for those events. This event, we had a virtual game night the other night, and I didn't report attendance for that. So there's a button for me to go and do that. I'll get to all of that in a second. But first, I want to show you what it looks like to create a new event. So I'll click the green button that says create a new event. And I am going to, let's plan a brunch. Brunch, because young adults love brunch. It's what we do. I don't want to make this a repeating event because, I mean, I wouldn't mind a repeating weekly brunch. That sounds great. But I'm just going to do this once and I'm going to click the event time. This will be Saturday and let's say 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Awesome. Description. Let's brunch? Question mark? Sure. And this one, this is looking to our group settings, which is set to virtual for this group. We've been meeting virtually. So we just put that in our settings with a Zoom link. But for brunch, we're not going to brunch at home separately. Our introverts would love that, but not this time. We are going to meet, sure, we'll meet at their house. So I'll send that, and that won't change my settings. That will only apply to this event. So that's pretty helpful. This is a last minute brunch, so I do want to send reminder emails. Let's do 3 days before, but I'm also going to send everyone a message in our Church Center app just to get it on people's radar sooner. So that's all I need to do. Create this event and I'm good. I'm good. So now I want to show you what it looks like when you need to, hold on. Yes, I'm going to show you what attendance looks like. So let's say your group is already met and you need to report attendance. Again, that button is available right there if you scroll down to that list. I do want to show you first though what this page looks like. So you can see here a fuller list of all the RSVPs, everyone who said they were going, the people who didn't respond yet, people who couldn't go. All that information is there. Now, if I was an administrator and looking at these events and I don't know the attendance, I wasn't there, I'm just the administrator, then I could click this button to request attendance from my leaders. It would send the leaders of this group an email saying, hey, I need your attendance. Please send it to me. I can also see the last time I requested it. And because I'm a leader and because I was at our game night, which was super fun, I'm going to record attendance. So we have this new beautiful attendance report list that I am a super fan of because it's really straightforward and easy to use. So I know off the top of my head, Ashley was there. Barbara was there. She's a visitor. She came last time, and visitors show on your attendance list if they were a visitor the event prior to this one. So she's a visitor, and she actually was like, you guys are a lot of fun. I think I want to be a member of this group. And so this little button is there to promote her to a member. So I'm going to do that. And she is now a member. Yay, Barbara. So going down, let's see. They missed out. Chanel was there. Jesse for sure skipped out again. He's kind of known for doing that, but we love him lots. I think the rest of us were there. Steve was there. He won every game. It's fine. I'm not competitive. We did have a visitor come to our group. So this is where you can add visitors or new members. If you need to add them on an attendance list, you can do that here. So I'm going to add a visitor, and our friend Caleb came. I think Caleb Johnson's in our... Oh, he is. Yay. So I'm going to add Caleb as a visitor, and he shows up there again with that promote button. So my attendance looks good. I'm going to submit that. You have successfully submitted the attendance report. So that is done. This event looks good. So when I go back to my events page, I can now see that button turned into the results of my attendance. So while we're talking about attendance, I also want to show you real quick what it looks like on our attendance reports page. So this is super helpful for leaders and administrators just to see overall how your group is doing, if people are coming. You can filter through a date range. You have lots of options there for what to filter through. And this will look different depending on each group, but you can see check marks from people come, when they were visitors. You can see when events were canceled, and you can see where events don't have attendance taken just yet. So lots of great fun tools and buttons on this page that are super helpful. You can also print those reports as you can with any of the reports that are in groups. So that is all for attendance. The next thing I want to show you with our group is a little bit more on messaging in Church Center. So I'm going to get my phone and I'm going to go to my groups, Centerville Young Adults. You can see this blue little notification button down at the bottom, and that is because I have an unread message. Our fall kickoff. This was I sent this message out to let everyone know about our game night that we had. Oh, Jesse told us he wouldn't be there. Yeah. Okay. So thanks, Jesse. We had fun without you. So that's where you can send threads for any kind of anything that you need to like create different topics of conversation about. This is a dream because I think we've all been in group text before, and important information just gets lost in a million GIFs, a million emojis, who knows what. So our team worked really hard this year to bring messaging to Church Center for your groups. I love it. So you can see we have multiple threads here, and I'm going to create a new one just to say brunch this Saturday. Thank you for capitalizing that. And I'll send a message later, but I'm just going to create that. No replies yet, but that's where I could communicate to people about, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. People can let me know, give me a gauge there on if they can come. And then we can also start planning potluck stuff, if we want to make it a potluck, if we want to go somewhere, all the things you need to communicate can happen in groups messaging. There's also a few features like you can mute certain threads. If something does turn into a GIF battle, that happens. So you can just mute those if you're over it. Unless you're winning, then I would stay in the GIF battle and finish it out, see who wins. But again, you can mute that when you're over it. As a leader, I can also go into, I can go into this thread and I can disable replies if I decide it's getting out of hand. People need to stop talking. I can also edit or delete this thread from here. So as a leader, know that those options are available to you. And, oh yeah, the last thing about groups messaging I want to touch on. I'm not going to cover this in full during this training, but our publishing product does have a sermons feature where your church can watch live stream sermons together. If your group members are logged in while watching a live streamed sermon, they have the option to chat within your group there. So my friend Benson is going to be taking us through a publishing and church-centered training on Thursday. You'll want to make sure that you watch that. But I wanted to let you know that your groups are also able to chat there, which is awesome. So I think that's about it for groups messaging and attendance and all those good things. So the last thing I want to cover is things that you as an administrator are going to want to see after everything's created, your groups are meeting, there's data, there's attendance, there's messaging, all good things are happening. I'm going to go back to our groups page and just show you some of the reporting tools that will help give you a gauge on how things are going with your church. So you have your main groups tab. This is what we've seen since the beginning. You can filter for the different group types, and anything that you add here will all be filtered by that. The groups, reports, and calendar pages also have this filter option so that you can filter by tags again. You can add text filters for whatever you need. One fun thing too, this action button here. So if I needed to set all my groups to the same setting at once, like let's say you're creating all of your groups and you want to launch all of them on a certain date. If you create all of your groups as hidden, they're not published yet, you can automatically publish all groups using this action button. That's also where you can close groups, or you can set all the groups to open and request to join. Those options are there for you if you need to automatically set a whole group type of groups to the same thing. So there is that. I'm going to go back to small groups for these reports because the next tab is reports. I'm not going to go into this too much, but again, you have that filter bar available to you. We show you different stats that apply to all the groups that you're filtered to. You can set date ranges and watch the bar graphs move and show you the data, which we love data. So again, play around with that. That's going to look different based on your groups and be reflective of your group's life. So that is the reports page. And we also have, if you have like specific questions about the reports page, we have documentation for that as well. The calendar is super fun in the main groups page as well, because when you're filtered to a group type, this calendar page shows you all of the group's events in that group type. So you can see here we have all our different groups listed, and they're all in our small groups type. You can see who's reported attendance and not for these groups. And just like in the groups page I showed you on the on our single group, it's the same thing, just the gauge is bigger to your filter. So that is the calendar. The resources. I actually forgot to touch on this when we were back in our group. So resources can be added from the groups page, and when you add it from this page, it's going to be a shared resource. So that means it's going to be available to everyone, every group in that group type. But let me show you real quick some of your options when adding a resource. So you can add a file, you can add a PDF or whatever you need to. If it's small group curriculum or a study guide, you can name it, give it a description. This is where you can choose if it's shared with all group types, or you can just select specific group types. You also have the ability to share it with just your leaders. If maybe it's like we have a leader's expectation resource that we just make sure all of our leaders have, or it can be a resource for all members. And if it's available to your members, it's also available to your leaders. So you can also add a link as a resource, and you'll just type in the link instead of uploading a file, and it'll be the same thing. So adding a resource, when you add it to a specific group, what I was going to do in our Praise Habit group is we were going to make that available, make a Zoom link available for that if people didn't want to meet in person. So because I had the actual location there, I was just going to upload a link to show. Let me show you real quick because I have some time. I was going to the resources page. Yeah, so because our event, this already meets at our Carlsbad campus, Adding a resource to just this group. This is a link.com. I could add this and make it available to my members so that if they didn't want to join our group in person, this resource would be available to them and they can just join from that link. So super easy. The last thing I want to show you is back on our main page is this people button. So if you're used to Planning Center and you've been an administrator in some of the other products, you're probably used to this page, but this is where you can see everyone who is a member in groups. And you can use the same filters. And just for an example, I do want to email all of my group leaders who are meeting virtually this fall. So this is where I could use this filter and let's see, I have all these options. I want to contact my leaders and using this tag over here, I want to contact everyone who's meeting virtually. So all of those tags instantly get applied as I'm clicking them. And Steph is the only one so far, but that'll change as I add more groups and leaders. And then I can send them an email from this page. So that people page is available to you for whatever you would need to filter through an email, either members, if you need all members to know something. Again, you're going to figure that out as you're using groups and as you create your filters in your groups. And you know your people, so that is available for you to contact your people. That being said, I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining us. And again, if you have any questions, don't forget that question mark is going to be your best friend. Our support team is available to you through there. And so are our documentation. And that's also where, again, if you have any questions about features that we might add or you want to see, let us know. We want to hear your feedback. This training is going to be available on our Planning Center University page, which is planningcenteruniversity.com. Nope. planningcenter.com/university. And that is all the time we have. So thanks again for joining, and we will see you next time.